Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I am Will. I have got my co-host over here, the Greeze. Say hello, Greeze.
Man, we got some pink representation.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? You got a pink shirt on for our podcast audience, and
I knew you wore that shirt today at work, and so I was like, you know what? We should coordinate our pinks.
I sent Sean, Matt, and Dan a morning picture of me this morning. Well, a video. And
time out.
I was zoomed in.
Was it not in that text thread that has me in it? You specifically excluded me from that?
Because you're the only one not in that thread?
There's already a thread with
all those people and you?
Yeah.
Then yes, I left you out of it. Well, I didn't want you to make fun of me.
You don't. First of all, I'm going to make fun of you. That's a given because you do things that are worthy of being made fun of. Two, that's your thing. It's like you love sending pictures of yourself where you just look wrecked in the morning.
Right.
But they're always the same. You could be just sending the same picture because you're always so wrecked.
No, that's why I did a video and I scrolled from a new shirt so they could see a new shirt.
Oh, okay.
So I started down here, like chest, and then I went up here and I was like,
yeah.
And I had my hair slicked back. It was not great.
No, you should never do that.
Dan said something along the lines of,
I wish I could have seen it live.
I don't know. He said he said something, and it was, he wasn't exactly. Well, he was saying it in a positive light, but
I don't think
he
knowing
meant it that way.
He didn't mean it positively.
Sean chimed in later and was just like, "Well, that just happened."
Yeah.
I think Sean's confused. Dan embraces the party.
You're not what people want to see first thing in the morning. Like your wife is a very special lady,
right?
Because she accepts you for who you are, despite what you look like in the mornings. Because it doesn't look like this. Like it takes all day for you to get to this, put together part. But no, you in the mornings is rough.
I need to have my ginger and lime tea before I can look presentable. Got to hydrate the.
You got to put some under eye cream. I do that every morning though. It works magic.
You and Sean are so similar.
Okay.
Y'all get frustrated with me and Dan. Y'all are the first ones to be cautious and say no. But then Dan and I are just like reckless abandoned. Is that what it's called? Abandonment? We're just reckless.
All right. So you woke up this morning. You looked rough, but you just got back from a trip, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and the shirt you're wearing, for those listening on the podcast feed, it has aviator sunglasses.
Oh yeah,
with
the Seattle ripoff needle.
Yeah, the fake Space Needle,
and then the fake Empire State Building,
right?
And then the Alamo on the other side.
And it says San Antonio, Texas.
And then there's some of my youngest daughter's snot.
Yeah, that's definitely a snot stain.
Yeah,
and it's like pink and green, like neon colors.
Yeah, it's like super 80s.
It has a gradient to it. I don't know. I'd lean 90s.
Early 90s.
Yeah, right.
Like you would expect this to be like you're cool, and then not under it.
No.
You know the knot shirts?
No.
You remember the knot shirts?
No.
Oh, you stop it.
What are you talking about?
I'm not that much older than you.
I don't know what you mean.
You're a terrible person.
What do you mean?
Like you're trying to not give me some validation right now, and I know for a fact that you daggum grew up in the knot era.
Okay, so you and your wife went to San Antonio, Texas.
Right.
JT.
Aiken.
Yeah.
One of those two.
Right.
I've never officially asked him, and I think that's my problem.
Are you aching?
Yeah.
For some bacon.
I'm aching.
He's a big.
Yeah.
You're going to be a big pig
JT
too.
Aiken.
Lion King.
Said, I've always wanted to go there with my wife. This is what I would suggest, blah, blah, blah. And so I look it up and I was like, man, this is my speed.
Yeah.
It's just 3 miles of extravagant sidewalks and
they have the river walk. It's a thing. It's their feature.
Yeah, but you get to have like unlimited beverages on the sidewalk.
Well, like you can It's not like you have an unlimited beverage pass on
No.
You phrase that wrong. You can walk and drink. It's an open
Right.
container.
Yes,
area.
you can. Yeah, but you can do it the whole time is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's not like designated hours. It's not like, oh yeah, you've already had one and you punched your ticket.
Yeah.
You know, one of those things.
Right.
It's just casual walkabouts.
There's a place where you can only have one and they punch a ticket. That is not a thing. There's no place that has a open beverage area that they're like, you can have one and we punch your ticket because we're going to ask to see a ticket next time you come.
Well, that's
no, Greeze. That doesn't exist. There are places that have the specific hours, like
they have drink coupons.
Huntsville has a specific hour. What do you drink coupons at a public space?
No, I mean, no. I was just thinking like some people do drink coupons
at like an event.
Yeah, never do drink coupons, by the way. Like if you go to a place and be like, I want to buy 100 drink coupons for my staff, they'll screw you because they're going to charge you for the most expensive one per drink coupon, and then you just get a Miller Lite.
Cool.
You know?
Yeah, I know.
You have to constantly think about it, Will.
So
what I do is I open up the tab and say, y'all get whatever you want.
No, I've been to a place that has coupons, like at the concert venue. They asked, which one do you want on the coupon? I mean, obviously the more expensive. They're like, right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why did you have to ask that? You could have just done the right thing.
They just want to be fair, Will.
Yeah. So we are let's talk about
I had some cocktails.
Yeah, no, let's talk about it. So you went on a Thursday night, right?
Yeah. We got in at like midnight.
Okay.
And we go to this pub that's right across in Riverwalk, and we walk straight across. And they did have Weller on the menu. So I asked if they had Weller 12. They did not. It was just Weller Special Reserve. So I ended up getting a Redemption Rye Manhattan. And it was freaking great.
Was it good?
Yeah. It was good.
Yeah.
And it was at an Irish pub too. I was like thinking like, no, this is not going to be good. I will say that the two, basically everywhere around there, it's not exactly like you're whiskey hopping. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Tons of tequilas, tons of fruity drinks, whatever you want. There's one menu that had over 100 tequilas available. And I was like, yeah, that's not my speed. But I did. There was a couple of places, actually 3 or 4 places that had a pretty expansive menu. Is that what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And then they got the, they got the Weller 12s. They got.
Is that the place that said like whiskey library on the menu, like of the elevated pours?
Oh, the one that I sent you?
Yeah, was that?
That was at a different place.
Okay.
I can't remember. It starts with a B. I can't remember right now. But they
really good trip report.
Very, very good trip report. It's on the Riverwalk. It starts with a B, so just search, alphabetically. And no, they had Weller 12 was $20 a pour, and then the Old Forester birthday bourbon last year's was $30 a pour. I was like,
and you got that one, right? You got the birthday bourbon?
I got both.
Oh, nice.
And I got their old fashioned with their house pour. I think there was Bullet, So I had an old fashioned one. Yeah.
So you got there late, you went to the pub, and then did you do anything the first night besides?
No, we were just soaking. I mean, the weather was incredible.
Right. Yeah.
I had
cool evenings in Texas.
Yeah. I had two drinks that night. Lauren had a couple of drinks that night. It's 1 o'clock and we go to bed. The next day was spent just walking around, figuring it all out. And then we found some, fruity drinks here and there. We did some Tex-Mex. We did breakfast at one place, lunch and another, and then dinner that night. So yeah, it was just a bunch of at Riverwalk. There's entertainment. There's a really cool piano bar that we went to that had a bunch of beers on tap. They had cocktails and stuff, but they had these amazing Irish coffees. They had them frozen and they had them hot. And I mean,
frozen Irish coffee would be my speed.
Oh, dude, it wasn't. Yeah, I had it.
Yeah,
so it was incredible. So it was essentially, some espresso, whatever
Bailey's.
It's got the Kahlua in it, or Bailey's. I think it was both actually.
Yeah.
And then there was whiskey, in mine. In Lauren's, it just had I think it was just Kahlua and Bailey's, and maybe vodka, maybe a little vodka, maybe like kind of a White Russian situation thing going on.
Could be
I don't know,
similar to that. Yeah.
But I mean, when I say it just tasted like coffee candy. That's what it tasted like. It was freaking great.
That's fun.
It got us up to speed, man. We were dragging.
Yeah, and you went to a nice dinner. Was that Friday night?
Yes.
You went to a James Beard nominated restaurant.
Yeah.
Multiple year nominated.
Yeah.
Restaurant.
Like 9 times. They've
great.
never won.
I mean, it's a big deal to be nominated.
Well,
anyway,
their district or their
Southwest.
Yeah, it includes California.
Right.
And they just said it's insanely hard.
Yeah.
Because, I think a lot of really gifted chefs are going to, I mean, out of that area,
right,
where are you going to go to crush it?
Yeah.
Probably California. But anyway, it was amazing. It was incredible. I didn't, we split a bunch of stuff and just partook, and it was really great. It was really good.
You got some breakfast tacos, I saw.
Oh yeah,
because you mocked me when I talked about the breakfast tacos when I was in Austin.
Yeah,
you're like, well, that's a thing.
We didn't find a place like you did where there was a bunch of variety.
There was only like 3 different ones. It was just one that had potatoes,
one
that had jalapeno chorizo, and one that it may have just been 2. It may have just been chorizo and regular sausage. So it wasn't like a super.
I love it how you say regular sausage.
Well, no, I mean like. What do you mean? Like a spicy chorizo versus just like
a regular maple cured sausage?
Yeah, like Jimmy Dean kind of sausage. Like sausage patty chopped up.
Yeah. So the one place that we loved, and we went back to it again for our last meal before we hit the plane, was Mi Tierra del Sol or something
you're
like that.
You're clearly saying that perfectly.
Mi Tierra del Sol.
Del Sol, probably.
That's what I said.
You said no, you said
I didn't.
Funky.
Okay. Well, anyway, they have this recipe for chorizo con huevos, and it's
eggs and sausage.
But it's chorizo and scrambled eggs together or whatever, and then they've got this sauce. So
delicious.
Took the eggs over medium, put a strip of bacon in there, threw that sauce on top, and I would have given up whiskey for 2 months to have that.
I love that you put a time frame on it. Like, would have done it for a solid 2 months.
Yeah. Because
if that's your exclusive meal.
Well, but then after 2 months, you have a glass of whiskey, and you're like, oh man, that's the best thing I've ever had. I would give up those tacos for 2 months for this
whiskey. That's great. And then anything else? Did you do anything?
Okay.
In particular?
Yeah, no, I have to tell you a story.
Okay, let's hear it.
I have to tell you the reason why I cannot go live while I'm by myself without you.
Okay, well, first of all, yes, I've been saying this for a long time.
Right. I tried to go live.
Two,
because our patrons need it.
I know I call you a dum-dum sometimes, right? But
yeah,
you're smarter than we normally give you credit for. But
I don't know.
Where you're not smart is that you're going to take your wife on a getaway.
Yeah.
And in your head, you think it's a good idea to go live.
Right.
To like not just be present with her in the moment.
Right.
And enjoy this getaway that you've been waiting so long for, but instead to say, you know what? I really need to go live on the internet right now and not pay attention to my wife.
Yeah. Well,
so I want you to think about it in that context, bud, and then tell me why you shouldn't be going live.
Well, we were eating at Mi Tierra.
Okay.
In the booth.
Okay.
And there's a mariachi band that's cruising.
So you're trying to go live on the internet at a restaurant.
Yes.
And you're still married.
Yes.
Okay, continue.
And the mariachi band comes up to us and was like, hey, do you want a song? And I was like, yeah, hang on just a second. I'm going to go live.
And you're like, honey, this isn't for you. This is for our people.
I'm going to go live. And I'm trying to get it to come up, and it's not coming up. And Lauren's like, Matt, no.
Yeah, right. No. As she should be.
They need $10. And I was like, it costs money? And they were like, yes, $10. And I was like, oh, do you have Venmo? And they were like, no, cash only. Like, idiot. Like, no, we're not going to take the number one. They're like 80-year-old, like Mexican men. Like, it's sweet. I mean, they are sweethearts of people. Like they're just so kind. And then, they make a living playing mariachi music to have happy people getting fed. You know
and
what I
you're
mean?
trying to broadcast their music on the internet
Right.
and not pay them cash dollars.
Right. And so it was awkward for a second. And then we get off, and then Lauren looks at me and goes, "Can you imagine if you went live?" Just being live, like, "Hey guys, what's up? We're gonna get a mariachi. We got a mariachi band about to play for it. All right, go ahead, guys."
And they're like $10. And you're like, yeah, do you take Venmo? And they're like, no, idiot. And you're like, okay, sorry for the false alarm. We're not going to get some mariachi music.
Yeah. So there's that one. Now, fast forward literally 20 minutes later, we're in the market in the same facility, and we're walking by, and there's this awesome mechanical bull. Okay. And I walk by, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, babe. We need to go live. I need to ride this mechanical bull."
Right. Once again, you could just say, film me, and I'll post it later.
Okay. This is fair.
Here's how to be a good YouTuber. Like, build story around it, film some clips, edit it together, and then post it later.
And then
instead of just saying, honey, film me live.
Yeah.
And but continue.
Can we have a bull riding machine show up at Whiskey Weekend?
No.
Just liability wise.
Yeah. And also, that's not in the budget.
Is it not?
We've already budgeted.
I will literally I will
No.
cancel Dixon Deadman right now for a mechanical bull.
No.
Dixon, sorry, buddy.
No.
What if it's a mechanical goat? No. What if it's a mechanical goat?
They don't make those. Continue. So you see it, you say we got to go live.
Yes.
And clearly it's like your phone's disabled or
no,
something. You don't know how to, it's not letting you go live. It's like, I put in some passcode that you have to get around? Because if I did, that was genius.
Well, we were a few cocktails deep, and we're just like, "Oh, try." And then Lauren was like, "Matt, you're an idiot."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "What?" She goes, "It literally said, like, number one, that mechanical bull is the size of your kneecap. And look at that sign right there. And it said for kids only. So if I would have gone live and like, hey guys, I'm about to go ride a mechanical bull. I'll go to him like, hey, can I ride this mechanical bull? I'm live on YouTube." And she'd be like, "No, you're too big. You idiot."
This is 2 times literally
within 20 minutes.
Yeah. That you have not looked ahead.
And so Lauren was like, "We only have one rule. You don't need to go live."
I've said time out. Are you going to abide by this rule? Because I've said this since we had the ability to go live.
Well, I will abide by it because Lauren is Lauren and you are you.
Oh, gosh.
You know what I mean?
Ray Chappell, just thank you for the $20 super chat. He said, "I would happily pay more for my Whiskey Weekend Batch 4 ticket to go towards a mechanical bull."
Right?
You're an enabler and you're uninvited, Ray.
What if we had it outside the cigar lounge? Like outside?
No.
Well, all right. What if we had one of those jousting things where two people
American gladiators?
Yeah, 2 people on there, and you could just joust each other and hit each other.
I'm for that, but we'd have to have some very strict ground rules.
Right.
You can't let people drink a lot of whiskey and then joust. Can you imagine the T's versus Casey getting in an argument about photos of food and then saying,
You want to go take it? You want to go take it out?
Let's take this to the jousting field.
Yeah. Or
I mean, I want to see it, but not on our liability waiver.
I feel like we could throw some samples up there, and whoever won gets the sample.
This is from our buddy Nate, and he says, "Wait, our Whiskey Weekend Batch 4 ticket does not include a bull. It includes a lot of bull from Greeze, but not a mechanical bull."
And by that, he means the S word after it.
Yeah. Scrap.
The S word.
Bull scrap.
Y'all better quit bull scrapping.
That's funny. Quit bull scrapping. That's a funny t-shirt. Quit your bull scrapping.
Man, that's a bunch of bull scrap.
Oh man, that's funny.
Oh man, this whiskey. Dude, this Jim Beam single barrel, pleasant.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It is pleasant.
Underrated, one might say.
Underrated, one might say.
Wait,
did we recently say that was underrated?
No, I don't think we did. One might say it. Not. No. So anything else you did? I saw you have a lot of New Orleans style long
beads,
frozen drinks with straws, hand grenade style almost.
Yeah. Well, no, I just walked. Lauren was like,
I saw multiples happen. I saw one on
Yeah.
you, like walking down the road, and like she's making me carry it, as if you're embarrassed to be carrying this thing when you're the one who's trying to ride the kid bull.
Right. Well, so there was one time where she was just like, I want you to go and get me. She claims this was a local drink. And it is called the local, but I don't think it's a local. It's basically a mango frozen
daiquiri.
It's basically a mango daiquiri is what it was.
Okay, yeah, you can get those.
Yeah, you can get them. But then I couldn't figure out how much alcohol was in this thing. Okay. Because they have those things, and then there's these like tubes that are just jabbed down in there.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah,
and I was like, are those extra shots?
It looks like the face of Hellraiser, kind of.
Right.
Like how many of these tubes are coming out?
Yeah. Are those extra shots or are those
the only shots?
The only shots. I think it was the only shot because I drank a lot of it.
So there was like none in the actual mix.
I don't know. I do not know the answer.
You didn't ask?
Well, some of them came with Jello shots, and those just came with those little bitty, beakers or whatever they call them. What do they call those?
Test tubes.
Test tubes.
Yeah, it's kind of like a test tube.
Yeah, it's pretty much what they were.
Yeah.
That drink was sticky. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
Like my hands it was bad.
Did you? Okay, so you did take I
went there and got her that, and then I was like, man, okay, I'm going to get one.
I was going to say, but you did take a bottle with you. You checked some in your luggage, right? You didn't end up doing it.
I didn't do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, honestly, our bags were insanely full, and we would have had to have packed another bag because we were
first world problems.
Yeah, we were only doing basically we checked one bag and then we had
carry on.
Yeah, just a backpack, couple backpacks for carry on.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Kind of disappointed by that.
Well, you could have
taken like a Ziploc baggie with some samples in it for some bedtime.
I did have some Rebel Yell 100 samples.
And by samples, you mean minis.
Yeah.
I love it. We call mini bottles that you can purchase at the store samples.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. Yeah, we're no longer calling them mini bottles. We like samples.
Hey, man, can I get a sample of pot still?
I do think we need to do that idea about
I agree with that.
Yeah, we're gonna tease that out. But Greeze and I have some ideas for things to do with some minis that are golden content, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do know what you mean.
Yeah. So anything else of note that you did in San Antonio? You went to the Alamo.
Yeah.
Yeah. You remember that?
Yeah. No, I do. Do you know the Alamo didn't have a roof on it? Now it does. Mm-hmm. They put a roof on it.
Yeah. You ever seen Davy Crockett, the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sad ending.
Doesn't end well.
No, sad.
No, it's kind of like Old Yeller.
Yeah.
Very similar, maybe.
Old Yeller and Alamo, similar.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong, but you're also not right.
Right.
Something's not right about you.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. I'm not always right, but I'm never wrong.
Yeah, that's the Grateful Dead said that.
Who's to say?
Them.
It's in writing. Is it in writing?
Well, I mean, it's a song.
Really?
Yeah.
How's it go?
I'm
scared.
No, never been right, but I may have never been right, but I've never been wrong.
Okay, so
something about the words in this song.
We're gonna get demonetized.
No.
Yeah.
No. We'll just claim to be tapers.
All right. So as far as I didn't have anything new. Except
the 2020 birthday bourbon. Is that your first time to try that?
No, it was not. Okay, I did have it last year. Honestly, the nose was the best part.
Okay.
It had a little bit more astringency to it, which was odd because the bottle was like half gone when I saw it.
Yeah.
So anyway,
we put out that 2021 review last week on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube and you're not subscribed to us, go ahead and subscribe and ring the bell so you get notifications. Give us a thumbs up. Really helps out the channel. And if you're listening to the podcast feed, go check out that review because it's on.
Yeah.
I rewatched it.
Yeah, because our podcast people need to understand that there's more content than what we're
doing. And we're actually putting out a video this week, us reviewing the Russell's 13. Yep. So that's coming.
It's actually done
in a day or two, probably.
Yeah,
maybe tomorrow. Yeah. But so in that review, I ended up saying you should buy it if you see it at retail. just because it's a thing. But the more I thought about it, and even watching my face, so like it's not just the audio, it's like being able to see the reaction of drinking it.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell I'm not a big fan of it.
Mm.
I just don't think it's super solid, especially compared to other years' releases. And while I do say
the first second hits you, and then it's just,
yeah, but I didn't even think the flavor was that great on it.
It's not as good as
as all I'm saying is that
I
did say, and I would stand by that. If you see it for retail and you're into whiskey thing like we are, you should probably buy it for retail to share with people and to analyze, even if it's not a great bottle, because it's a limited release and people will appreciate it. But the caveat being is on the merits of the bottle. I don't think it's a great whiskey. I don't think it's the one that you should be looking for. If if it came up to head to head on something like a Four Roses LE or something like that, I would definitely take that over the birthday bourbon this year.
Yeah,
it wasn't a spectacular whiskey, and with the age statement and the proof, it should have been better. But watching that back, I did want to say that like I still stand by. You should probably buy it if you see it and you're a whiskey collector, and you can get it at retail so that you can share it with people, analyze it, and drink it next to other things. But of the Four Roses birthday bourbons, it's not spectacular.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
You said Four Roses birthday bourbons, I think.
Old Forester.
Yeah,
I'm going to say I don't know.
But you were saying Four Roses limited
words.
Edition is better.
Fumbled my words. Oh, hey, we should say congratulations to Perry Ritter.
Oh yeah,
of
This
Is
Tonight
My Bourbon podcast.
Well, they're recording
probably right now their
200th episode.
Yeah, his 200th episode.
That's a double century, dude.
So congratulations on that. It's hard to put out 200 pieces of content. You know, like that's an achievement, no matter if you're doing something daily or weekly or bi-weekly or whatever. Doing something and sticking with it for a long amount of time, that's not easy. So that's a thing. So cheers to him. And we sent a voice message over to him through our friend Eric.
Cheers, Patty.
Yeah.
Mason.
Pear Bear.
Who's Perry Mason?
He was a TV detective.
Great.
Yeah, he's great.
Is that who Perry was named after?
No.
Yes, 100%.
Yes, but the original Perry Mason, not the new HBO reboot.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
No, it's too sleek.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
All right. So what? So didn't you have something to say?
Oh yeah, I did. I went to a charity dinner.
Yes, that was it.
So this was
saw some studs.
Joshua invited he invited both of us, but you were leaving town. It was the Thursday night that you left.
Yeah.
To a charity dinner, and it was had a blast. And so, but I'm pretty sure his phone auto-corrected the invitation when he texted us, said, "Hey, it said, do you want to come to this Eagle Rare trade dinner?
Yeah,
I have some extra tickets."
Yeah.
So I thought trade dinner. It's bartenders, distributor, like it's something like that. It's like an industry dinner.
Oh yeah.
But I think it auto-corrected charity to trade in the text.
I typically do that.
Unless that's just a term I don't know. Like like a trade dinner, like it's just like, oh, we're going as this, but it's for charity. I don't know. But yeah, so I got there thinking it was going to be like that. And I walk in and see there's a silent auction. And I'm like, oh, I think this is a charity dinner, which was great.
Right. Were you dressed
fantastic?
For it?
Yeah. Because I knew it was at 404. It was like Greeze. I'm always dressed appropriately.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I would have been.
No. I was thankful.
Yeah.
Really thankful that you were on a trip with your wife.
Yeah. What you were? Yeah. There was a couple of celebs there that you were like, I'm so glad you're not here.
Yeah. No,
because I would have embarrassed you.
It was cool. It was a very small charity dinner. It was for a charity that Drew Holcomb's involved with. And so he played like 3 songs. He played Dragons, which is great.
Oh yeah, it's
he played a couple other. Yeah, he sang a couple songs with Ellie, And so The Wine We Drink, which is a great song, like a marriage song, they sang that together.
Yeah.
So that
I
was
filmed
really
that
cool.
song for a wedding.
It was outside on the patio upstairs at 404. You know, great cocktails, great wine. Joshua poured standard Eagle Rare and Eagle Rare 17, so you could do a side by side. And all that to say, it was you know, there was some programming. There was obviously music by Drew Holcomb, and there was an auction. And if anything, it was definitely the people that were there and the quality of the auction items were, the goal was to raise a lot of money, and they did for this charity. But I do think it is super cool and telling of Buffalo Trace that Joshua, who's, you know, over all the bourbon brands for Sazerac, like he's the director of bourbon brands, or something to that effect. Like he's a important person within the company, you know, traveled down here, which, I mean, it's, you know, there's a draw here, there's family, and there's a reason to come down. It's a cool event. But you know, he came down and they brought Eagle Rare 17, and they brought regular Eagle Rare, and they put Eagle Rare in the swag bag, and they
whole bottle of it,
375. Yeah. And they donated a lot of items for the auction, like a trio. You get Eagle Rare 17, George C. Stagg, and William LaRue Weller, so a BTAC trio, and a bottle of the 1995 vintage OFC, and they auctioned off a barrel, a pick experience of a barrel of Eagle Rare. And so I don't know, it wasn't a big, flashy, huge event with 1,000 people that was making news and headlines that's going to bring infinite goodwill and earned media for the company, right? I mean, which there's nothing wrong with it. Companies do that. If that were the case, it would not have bothered me at all. But just the attention to detail and what they took to a charity that it helps inner city kids connect, and like there's mentorship opportunities and things like that. And I don't know, just the fact that they would do all of this for they're not going to get a ton of like earned media out of it. It speaks to what they do care about and the corporate values, I think, of Buffalo Trace. So all that to say is, I mean, Joshua is obviously a good friend of ours. He's been really good to us. They understand the community there, but the fact that they were doing things like donating that bottle to raise money, and obviously it doesn't, a single bottle of OFC doesn't affect the bottom line of Sazerac Corporation a ton, or one barrel for auction, but for a charity that's not super well known, not a huge name recognition, you know, it's not like it's the United Way or something that's just everyone knows the charity. I don't know, I thought it was pretty cool that they put that much attention into it. And so
I won't tell you what bottle it was or how much you paid for it, but Paul still outbid us.
Yeah, it was the OFC.
Yeah. Yeah. Will and I were which you went way over budget.
I did. I got bid happy.
Yeah.
But I was also, I'm like, a lot of these guys would outbid me. I'm like a peon here. Like there were people that had some dollars there.
Yeah, some ultra net worth people.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
No, it was a I was not I didn't know anyone there.
No, you I mean,
except for Paul.
You did.
Yeah.
You knew of people.
Yeah, there were some cool people.
Yeah.
So it was a cool event.
Did you ask cool people, did you say thank you for all that you've done?
No, I didn't do that. I didn't get an opportunity, but I would have.
All right.
And it would have made him say,
Yeah, what?
So anyhow, it was a lot of fun. That was that
would have been ultra net worth it.
It was a cool event. I appreciated Eagle Rare. Like, I don't know, just seeing things like that, and it's cool. Is also, I appreciate that Joshua invited me. So
well, yeah, he invited me too. I just obviously I was
you're too popular.
Headed to San Antonio, which is the past 2 times he's wanted to hang out here. I've been busy.
I know. He's like, I get the feeling Greeze really just doesn't like me.
That's not true.
It's what he said.
I understand that's what you're saying, Josh. It's not true. Don't believe lies.
Yeah. He's like, I stopped listening to the podcast because Greeze doesn't like me.
Well, you know what? Everybody else has to.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So that's it. Cheers to Eagle Rare. I love them and appreciate.
This is not Eagle Rare.
No. All right. You want to go to the 15?
Yeah, babe.
Or you got anything else you want to say?
I was just gonna pour Eagle Rare real quick. Oh, by the way, if you're watching live and you're in the Nashville, or if you're not in the Nashville area, and you want to come to the Wild Feathers show this Friday, is it the 8th? Friday?
8th, yeah.
Or is it Saturday?
I don't know.
Which day is the Friday? No, Friday's the 8th. And you come there and just find me in the crowd. I'm gonna be there for the Wild Feather. It's at something Bowl.
Brooklyn Bowl
here in Nashville.
It's supposed to be one of the coolest new venues. I've heard from many people how cool it is.
So it's Friday night. Come and hang out with me. If you see me, tell me to put you on the list. I will put you on a list, and we're doing a giveaway for a Eagle Rare Special Forces pick and a personalized decanter, and then Brett Moore is supplying a flask with George T. Stagg 2020 in it to kind of boost the thing.
Super cool.
All you got to do is be there.
Right.
I mean, you got to get a ticket.
Right.
The ticket costs, it's not much. Go ahead and grab a ticket. Come up there. Give me your name. I'll put you on the list, and then I'm doing it there, so then I can just give it to you, and you can peace out.
Awesome.
I'm not going to ship it. Although the decanter will come ship. And we have, I think there's a couple of tickets, by the way, up for grabs. So if money is tight and you're watching this and you want to come to the show, hit me up, hit my DMs up, and I can get you those tickets. But we would love for a lot of people to buy tickets, obviously. But I would love for you to, at the end of the day, I'd love for you to come and hang out and have a really great show. And there's a couple of tickets out there for that.
Hey,
available.
I saw a whiskey in the store today before we go to the 15 that we're probably going to have to buy and do a special review for Thanksgiving. I've never heard of it before, which is remarkable. But it's a decanter, and it's called Tom Turkey Bourbon Whiskey.
Okay.
And this is the decanter.
No, I've seen that before.
I've never seen it. It's a dadgum.
It comes around every year this year.
Really? I've never seen it. It's a turkey sitting on a pumpkin. It says, "Be thankful."
Yeah, it's Tom, dude.
We need to get that and drink it.
All male turkeys are called Toms,
Turkey
right?
Tom American Bourbon Whiskey.
Right.
Well, I think there's a Jake.
I
think it's a Jake.
It's a Jake?
Yeah.
Well, then why are they calling it Tom?
Alliteration. Yeah, I think a turkey's a Jake. Oh, it's an immature. A Jake is an immature male bird. So is a Tom maybe is a grown-up one?
Man, if only we hunted.
Oh, Longbeard is the male. Like the
Jake versus Longbeard.
Let me see.
What about rare breed? What do you think about old rare breed? Do you think Wild Turkey was like, Dad,
Toms are males, but a Jake is a younger one.
Got it. Do you think Wild Turkey was like, man, we're gonna own Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think that's what they were gunning for.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about
it, Eagle Rare, this is a little tidbit. Eagle Rare
Independence Day. They own Independence Day.
No, but
sure.
you know why it was and I forget who originally had it. It may have been National Distillers or someone else, but the brand was created to directly compete with Wild Turkey. And the thought process behind it, because it was 101 proof also.
Uh-huh.
And the thought process was the turkey's kind of a stupid bird.
Oh, right.
Like we need something regal and majestic. Let's make it Eagle Rare instead of Wild Turkey. And
dude, but turkeys are freaking...
Well, turkey was supposed to be the American bird. Benjamin Franklin wanted it.
Right. Yeah.
Because they were aggressive and they'll
could slash.
They're also, tasty.
They were tasty.
You can't eat an eagle. That's disgusting.
Yeah. You can't, right?
Not only, first of all, you can't kill an eagle. But
I talked to this guy the other day that literally he gets paid like $800 a pole to go up. Not a pole, but the cell phone towers. The cell phone towers.
$800 a pole, eh?
You know what I mean?
It's quite.
So he gets paid like $800.
What line of work you in, fella?
To go up these towers.
Okay. And clear out the nest.
To make sure that there's not a nest there. And so what they can do, and he does this all like the whole time when like eagles are like nesting, because they'll mess up the cell phone towers,
right?
And you can't get rid of them once they've laid eggs. Like they are protected like crazy,
100%.
So they go up there with these mirrors and check up there, and then they take pictures. If the nest is empty, then they throw the nest off. They just push it off. Like, see you, buddy.
Yeah, but they have to document that there's no eggs in it.
Oh, right. 100%. But dude
maybe 50%.
He hits like 3 towers a day.
Oh, it's good money.
Yeah. His dad owns a company.
Sounds like some, what do they call it? Nepotism going on.
Dad's just sitting at home. He's out there.
Pushing nest.
Man.
What area?
They do repairs. So they do repairs and they do upgrades to these towers.
Where's he live?
Like all these cell phone companies pay him. It's fascinating.
Where's he live?
Northeast Georgia.
Okay.
Near Gainesville, Georgia. Yeah. What about it?
I was wondering what region of the country, like there was more eagles or not.
Or
if there was like, or if he was like South Georgia, he also would probably have to deal with like ospreys. Like that's a big bird. They're in Florida a lot, and they build giant nests.
Ospreys?
Osprey. OSPREY. What?
Your bird names are stupid.
No, like look at these giant nests.
Is that a condor?
No, it's an osprey.
I don't think you understand what an osprey is.
Yes, I do.
Osprey.
It's called
an osprey.
You shut up. You don't know how to read.
It's called it's an O.
No, it's os.
Oh yeah, like an ostrich.
Yes.
Oh man, this is wow.
Oh my gosh. All right, folks, we're gonna go to the 15.
Yeah.
Hit the music.
Yeah. Are we going to it right now?
Yeah.
Just hit the music.
All right. That was a fun 44 minutes.
Was it 44?
Yeah. That's where I was like, oh crud, we gotta go to the 15.
We do. I didn't realize it was that long.
It's osprey, not osprey. Melissa and your Northwest accent. I have different birds. Let's go catch you. Look, this is an osprey on this glass.
That looks a little fun. Oh, you've used it already today.
Yeah, because the other glass had a cut on it. I had a cut on it. Here you go.
Oh man!
All right, so for the 15, we're doing this Hillrock. That's it. It was in the thumbnail, so you saw it. But
and patrons, we're hitting up after party after this.
Yeah, we are. So if you're not a patron, you can still do that. Go to patreon.com/thepodcast and join, and you'll do the after party.
We just opened a 3rd bottle of this.
Yeah,
we have 2 open.
Well, you couldn't find your open. Yeah, if you had been more prepared, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal.
Well, I don't think preparedness was the issue.
Yes, it actually was.
No, I don't know where it lives.
No, bring that back. What are you doing?
I'm just giving you that sticker.
Okay. All right. I need to read from it. And we're back from the 15.
Some say we never left, Will.
All right, folks.
Let's talk about Solera method.
Okay, we can. I was going to say this is the segment we call buy bar or pass.
Yes, we do call it buy bar or pass.
That is where we review a whiskey. We give it our rating, buy bar or pass. Buy, you should buy the bottle. Bar, you should try it before paying for a full bottle, or if you at a bar or at a friend's house. And then pass is not worth it. You shouldn't even go for it.
And then in this day and age when whiskey prices are just shooting off the daggum roof, we also initiated, inceptualized.
All right,
a borrow.
Yeah, we don't use that often though.
We do. We like to use the borrow.
Now, we like to borrow things, but
like when you have rich friends,
borrow is still really kind of bar
that are well connected. It is kind of a bar.
So anyhow, this is actually a barrel pick of Hillrock from Red Dog Wine and Spirits in Franklin, Tennessee.
Now we're doing a lot of, we've talked about a bunch of Red Dog picks recently because we just did a tasting.
Yeah, we did that event where we had a lot of their single barrels. So that's actually why we have this in our possession currently.
Right.
And we're going to talk about what Hillrock is. It's got some interesting facts behind it, and then we're going to give it the review. But I did want to say before we get going, so this was one of Dave Pickrell's projects, and he was master distiller there. Dave Pickrell, which,
originally from Maker's Mark,
made his name at Maker's Mark, was there, I think, 16 years, kind of led the revival. He was big in helping Whistle Pig get off the ground. I think he's helped over 100 brands. Blackened Whiskey was one of his final projects before he passed.
Which is so
a legend and an innovator within the whiskey space.
An innovator, and also like he kind of stuck it to the secondary market at Whistle Pig. Like that was his like thing. Like, no, we're selling Boss Hog at
$500, right?
And it kind of stayed there. Now,
for better or for worse.
For better or for worse, yes. However, what I thought was fascinating was I don't recall him doing any of that type sort of innovation at Makers, unless was he kind of the stave guy that was like
for
the single barrel picks?
If he helped, well, I mean, Makers 46 was the first thing they did with staves. I'd have to go back and check on the timeline, but he really brought Maker's Mark kind of and modernized it and kind of helped them grow the brand to be what it is and kind of internationally recognized brand.
Yeah, because he was there early 2000s.
I don't know.
Yeah, pretty sure he was.
Yeah, I don't know if that was at the end or beginning or when
but he was there. Yeah, he was there.
But so this is a little bit about Hillrock. It's from Hudson Valley, New York. It is what's innovative about it is that he used Solera aging method, which has some good and bad connotations. We can talk about what it is, but essentially it's kind of a hybrid of blending and aging at the same time. And it's done in a lot of rums. It's done in like fine balsamic vinegar. It's done in cognac and sherry and port wine and a lot of those kind of spirits or beverages or things. I think if you think of like a pyramid, that the top barrels are going down into a smaller amount of barrels and then to a smaller amount of barrels until it's like in
an upside down pyramid.
Yeah. And when they pull from the bottom barrel, they cycle everything down and they add younger whiskey to the top. And so in theory, there's always in every final product a little bit of young whiskey or a lot of bit of younger whiskey and a little bit of this older spirit that maybe was the base.
Yeah.
There's pros and cons to it on rum when it's Solera method. Because rum doesn't have the same age stating rules as bourbon, they use it as a marketing thing. So they'll put like a 26 on it, and that can reference like the oldest whiskey in there, or the oldest rum in the blend, but that can only be several drops. Like it may not be anything more than that. So, but with whiskey, you have to age state the youngest component. So with something like Hillrock, they're not going to age state it because it would be whatever that youngest whiskey is. It doesn't. So it's a Solera aged bourbon whiskey. So it doesn't say straight whiskey. But I mean, Dave Pickrell having his hand in it lends it more credit or credibility, or like you want to try it than something that is just trying it out and you have no clue what they're doing. But it's also this estate that Hillrock comes from. They not only did this kind of innovation with Solera for bourbon, because that was an innovation obviously in old world spirits, but it is they went grain to bottle. They grew the grain on the estate, and they malted their own grain on the estate, and they aged it on the estate. So they did the full process there. Now this is a cask strength. It's 118 proof, I think. What do we got on there? I think it says 59.1.
58.1, so 116.2.
Yeah,
They don't do the math for you either, which is
so
unfortunate.
116.2. It's a cask strength single barrel, which is kind of interesting. Like, I don't know, do they do Solera and then throw it in a new barrel at the end, or is it they age it all at a certain point and then start the Solera method?
So it
And then
says aged in American oak and finished in sherry casks.
Okay.
Handcrafted first.
Yeah.
Second, Solera aged and bottled by Hillrock Estate.
Yeah, so it's finished in sherry casks. Now, what's interesting to me about it too is that it's a higher proof finished in sherry cask single barrel. So a lot of times you get finished whiskeys and they're not higher proof. So
short barrel right here.
How many bottles?
60.
So here's the other question I have about picking a barrel.
Right.
Because I don't think they pull the full thing. So are they setting each?
They probably said we want 60 bottles.
Or yeah, like, or who's setting that limit? Is it the store? Is it there's a lot of questions, and we should ask Lena at Red Dog if she has a little bit more information on it. But let me see what the side says again. So aged in American oak, and so I mean, to be bourbon, it's not straight bourbon, but to be bourbon, it has to be new oak at some point in that process, right? So so the Solera method,
so at least
I know there's a lot for me to wrap my head around for them using the term bourbon. It's clearly not straight bourbon, because I think some of it may be younger, or they can't trace how young some of the whiskey that's getting into this is. Or just maybe the method in and of itself is eliminating the potential for it to be like, maybe it's not in the white oak, like the new white oak, for longer than 2 years, but then maybe they're aging it for 6 total.
I mean,
there's a lot of questions on it.
So as far as taste,
let's nose it first.
I'm gonna nose it.
There's a lot of information because it's unique.
I get maple on the nose.
I get a lot of syrupiness. I think, I mean, it's sherry finished, but I get some of like the port aromas, kind of like a gooey fruit, like a fig or a date, almost like a date sweetness. Yeah. Like a dried date sweetness on the nose.
Have you ever
definitely like a
taken a fig Newton and put it in the microwave for like 10 seconds?
No.
That's what it smells like.
Well, that's a fig, and I did say fig.
Yeah, but it's like a custardy, gooey.
Yeah, I said a gooey fruit
cookie.
I said that.
Well,
I can get that cookie, like a baked sweet, a scrumpet. It smells great. Like I could nose this. Often.
Now it definitely has some age to it. There's definitely some influence of age, but I'm also getting young notes to it too. It is Dr. Pepper.
I get that.
Yeah.
It's
got this cola mouthfeel.
Being 116, I'm getting a warming, but it's not a burn. The aging method has definitely mellowed it.
It's complex. It is, the complexity is there.
Yeah.
Now I believe we paid $120 for this bottle.
Yeah, I think it was 120.
Yeah. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and give my rating.
Okay.
We can still talk about it if you want to.
Yeah, I think it was $118.99.
Yeah.
And so pre-tax.
So the greatest part about, living in the state of Tennessee, which Red Dog presides in, they have one of these open for you to go and taste it. And so, in Georgia, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And so, or in other states, you can't do that. Not every state you can. So that's something unique. And I think liquor stores can take chances on higher end bottles because of that.
Yeah.
Because like, hey, they might actually reach out to the distributor and be like, yes, I will take 2 cases of that if you give me a taster. And they're like, absolutely sure, no problem.
Right.
Because you've got, you could have, 12 $120 bottles, but like until people, it's a new product, nobody's going to take a chance on it. And it could take months for people to get them and do reviews and for you to trust that person's review enough to go and pony up $120. Now, at Red Dog, you can just go up there and try it yourself. They'll pour you a little bitty taste of it.
Yeah.
I did, and I was like, I would love to have this in a tasting. The complexity on the palate is there.
It tastes really good.
Yeah. There's enough. There's a lot of notes. Like we were saying maple, we were saying syrupy, we were saying a baked fig Newton, which I didn't even know you could do that. Microwaved fig Newton, whatever. We got what was the last note that I said? Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
So a lot of, it's a sweeter, it's obviously sweet. We're obviously saying things that are sweeter in this description. I think the complexity is there. I think the nose and the palate and the finish are substantial enough probably to warrant $120. However, this is not my favorite 120.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to lean bar or try it at, try it at Red Dog and maybe grab it then. But it is a wow bottle to taste for sure. It's got a wow factor. It also has the bottle is very what do you call it? Stately. See, I say kingly.
It's got a crest on it.
There's some gold flare.
Yeah, I mean it's a unique bottle too. It's got a heavy bottom. Yeah. It's got a large cork.
Cork's got a big old H on it.
I don't think it's like too gaudy. It could be, but I guess we could go. There's one other thing that you were kind of mentioning. One, you were talking about in the state that a lot of times the taster isn't necessarily from the distributor, but they'll mark up their price a few extra bucks to pay for it.
Yeah.
So do that that's, I think, the most common way, especially with a single barrel.
Yeah.
Because the distributor's not giving you something for free that you're invoicing if you're buying a whole barrel.
Mm-hmm.
There could be a situation where it's like, can I get an extra thrown in if I order 4 cases? If I order a certain amount of something that's non-allocated and non-single barrel, because it's good. But so that I didn't want to clarify that a little bit.
Yeah.
But it is definitely you see them, especially if they're doing a single barrel.
Yeah.
Over the course of say it's with this one, 60 bottles, 120. You add a couple dollars to that, it pays for the bottle, and you're not really noticing that shift. If it's 116 or 118.
Yeah, and a lot of stores too. Like if you know stores to be pretty spot on retail, and then you start noticing a few expressions maybe being 10, 15% up. I mean, it might be because they actually have tasters for it.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to mark that up. So don't necessarily take that as them like, oh, dude, they're not doing retail anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate this place, whatever. No, pump the brakes and just kind of see why, or ask them why. Or you know what? They might need 10% more just to stay open.
Yeah. Well, and I love this from Bo Ranheim. He says, come to New York. He's from New York. Yeah. The distillery tour is great and they treat you right. It's like, if you go to their website and you see the estate, it's gorgeous. It's something, also that part of New York, Hudson Valley, is beautiful. So the fact that it exists, it's there, but I don't know, like, to me, here's my breakdown. And so when you get to $120 bottle, it's a little bit harder to do a straight buy bar or pass. We have to have our caveats, because it's hard for me just to straight up say, buy $120 bottle sight unseen. I really like this. I don't typically, sherry finished things can be really good, but they're not always my go-to. This is delicious. Knowing the story that they're growing the grain, they're malting it themselves. They have like a malting floor. Their story's really cool. Dave Pickrell did a good job with it. I would say I see the value of the $120. It's cast strength. This one being at cast strength. It's not like you're getting a 90 proof sherry finished bottle. I understand the value of this. There is craftsmanship in it. There's an art to this one that I really like. It's hard for me to say straight up buy. Here's who should buy it. If you love finished bourbon, specifically sherry cask, or if you like scotches that are sherry finished, or or aged in sherry barrels.
I feels like it has a higher malt mash bill.
It could, I mean, but they're doing their own malting, so it could change the way that they're getting that malted barley. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of value in it, and it's something that I've overlooked because of the price tag. And while the bottle's not too gaudy, sometimes when you put something looking stately or kingly, like you said, up there, and you haven't heard of it, you are like, what are they trying to prove? Right? Like, it almost puts you off. Like,
I think that meshes well on the shelf. Like,
no, I think it does
on the shelf right now. And
but if you know nothing about it and you just hear Hillrock, it's not a household name. It's not something that you know a ton about. And that price tag, like if that were a $60 bottle, people would be buying them just because they're like, it looks great and it's only $60.
Yeah.
But because of the price tag, I think it could.
You think by the look of the bottle, you think they're relying a little bit on a gimmick.
Yeah. Well, and to some degree,
in your psychological awareness, you're degrading the whiskey inside of it before you even try it.
Yeah. No, I think that it is a fascinating.
So you're saying there's psychology to whiskey?
1,000%. I would say if you're into sherry cask, if you're into finished whiskeys, it being higher proof, and especially if you're getting a single barrel, I'd say, even though a single barrel is, I don't understand fully what a single barrel of this entails.
Right.
Almost like the original Jefferson small batch that you could buy a small batch. And so it was just a limited number of barrels that
unless they took it out of the last barrel of meshing.
Yeah, but then it's like that can always be refilled. Like theoretically, the final barrel could be pretty full
because it does not.
Because you're adding to that.
Because it does not say single barrel; it just says barrel
on the barrel number. Mm-hmm. Well, let's see.
Well, no, it just says barrel. No, it just says barrel for them.
Well, it says barrel number, and it says Red Dog Wine and Spirits.
Right. It's not. Yeah.
But that a number would typically infer like the
right. If they gave a number, but they don't. So I think
a little bit. Well, no, I'm just saying the label, though, typically that would have a barrel number.
Yeah.
So that final thing is probably they're going to have a barrel number for it, whatever it hits last.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I think it's good. I think it's a good bourbon. I was pleasantly surprised. I like it. It's stout. It's good. It's probably for most people a bar. But it is.
And when we did this thing at the when we did this thing,
stupid sloppy man.
When we did this thing at the tasting, this stood out and was impressive to people.
A lot of people really liked it
because of it's unique, it's complex. Like when it hits people's palates, they're like, "Whoa, what is this?" You know. Now, good or bad, it still made an impression,
right?
Which would speak into the complexity of something. Going from different the nose and the palate and the finish and all this stuff it's a very good journey. And I think it catches people off guard, and for a younger whiskey drinker, they're just like, whoa, they don't know why they like it, but they like it. Anyway, it's a
bar or pass for you though.
I'm barring this one.
Okay,
I want to lean by.
See, for me, if you are Jason Newman, knowing his palate, I think it's a buy for him.
That's a buy.
And that's who I have in mind when I'm like, if you like these kind of things, I think it's a really, this would speak to him.
Clint Sample would love this.
Clint Sample also would love this.
Yep.
Corey, I don't know.
Probably not.
I don't know if this is in Corey's wheelhouse. Yeah. So I don't know. This is
depends on how he cut his hair that week.
Right.
Right. What kind of Corey we're getting.
So, I mean, I also think that they would enjoy that. They'd be able to appreciate it. There's a palate that would be like, I don't know if I want to spend $120 on this. So,
right.
I don't think there's a lot of people to be like, that's terrible.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, I think that's it. Yeah. I'm buy for a specific person, clientele, and you are bar. I'm bar for most people, though. So, which is a good thing. If you live in Tennessee, you can go try it first and see if you want to buy it, because we now have like several bottles of it.
Yeah, I can't. The Dr. Pepper note is
It's good.
legit.
Yeah. And I get that. Which, Dr. Pepper has like prune in it.
It has 23 flavors in it.
Right. But prune is one of
the flavors.
Yeah. Which is kind of that.
What about anchovies?
Dried, gooey fruit.
I feel like anchovies in everything.
No. All right, folks, that's going to do it for this week on the podcast. If you're listening on the podcast feed, go ahead and like and subscribe to it, and give us a 5-star rating and review. That really helps. If you are on YouTube, thank you for watching each and every week as we see you here. Go ahead and give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Ring the bell so you get notifications when we go live. We got a video coming out tomorrow on Russell's 13. It's a review. Check that out. And if you want to support us in other ways than just watching, which is very helpful, or listening, which is also very helpful, you can go to patreon.com/thepodcast. After every live, we do an after party, and we're about to do that right now. So go to patreon.com/thepodcast, go to thepodcast.com/store if you want to buy some merch like this hat I've got on, and the hat that Greeze has on, and that helps support our friend Melissa as well as us. And all that to say, we don't know jack,
but we'll drink it.
Thanks, everyone. That was a fun show. I only had to block one. I did block someone